My name is Hannah Seiler, and this is my video project submitted in partial fulfillment of the requirements of the coursework for class N110, Foundations of Nursing Practice with Professor Saparo. In this video, I will depict the thought process and work that went into the creation of my final aesthetic representation of the art of nursing practice. I hope you enjoy. Initially, upon reading the assignment description and requirements, I was kind of lost. I had to do a bunch of brainstorming and mind mapping to even begin to comprehend what the art of nursing practice really meant to me. I was searching online and asking around before I came to the conclusion that nursing, as a profession, can be defined in so many different ways. That is where I saw the beauty of it. Everyone has their own story about a doctor's office trip and a memory of a nurse in one way or another. Whether she was your mom, your friend's mom, a kind face you saw around your elementary school, or a kind, caring leader who was able to make you feel well again when you reached a point you didn't know you'd come back from quite the same. And you were right. You didn't. You didn't come back the same. You were touched by the selflessness and the angelic nature of the healing hands that were able to whisk away your fears and pains like they were nothing, and connect with you when you thought maybe no one else understood. I mean, I for sure have. I remember being a timid little 12-year-old, entirely too impressionable by the hateful and hurtful words of others, who would go to the nurse's office for someone to talk to, be comforted by, and feel safe with. I'd sit in there as long as it took for me to feel better, and I knew I was always safe and welcomed there. This said, the art of nursing practice to me is its ability to grow, manifest, and shapeshift into something that's different for this person and the next, and nothing like the first two for the third person you ask. The art of nursing practice lies in the way that others perceive it, and in the way that it becomes each of these things for each person. Due to the uncertainty in these unprecedented times, I was unable to go about completing this assignment to the fullest point of my own personal expectations. I couldn't necessarily go about delivering the project in exactly the way I wanted to, where I would have required interpersonal interaction that isn't entirely practical at these times. So I instead went ahead and harnessed the attributes of the most powerful force I have at my disposal, social media. I began reaching out to my friends and family members, asking for help in completing my goals for this final project, as soon as I decided on how I would get around the quarantine block past my expectations for the project. I posted on multiple platforms asking viewers to reply with 3 to 5 words or short phrases that define their perception of nursing as a profession. I posed the question, what do you think of when you think of professional nursing and nurses? These were some of my responses. I was getting a lot of replies with words like knowledgeable and compassionate, which weren't very surprising to me, and I'm sure they aren't incredibly surprising to you either. What was more overwhelming to me was the outwardly positive response I got to the imposition of this question. Followers on my social media pages that I wouldn't claim to normally interact with were responding to my posts with their positive affirmations for my intended career path, thus showing me even more beauty in the clearer vision of all I could possibly become and mean to people. Over a few hours, I took apart each response, recording all of the key words I saw. Here's where the art really begins. I typed this list into a website, wordclouds.com. When you enter your list of words into their wizard software, you are effectively generating an image comprised of each of the words typed in. The words that were input the most appear larger. The words input fewer times appear smaller. I went ahead and typed in nursing a bunch of times at the bottom in an effort to make it appear as one of the bigger words in the final project. After all, it is the subject matter and the reason I was here in the first place. Aiming for a heart-shaped final image demonstrative of the idea of nurses as loving and compassionate, I was a bit disappointed when the words were a little too long to really fit into the shape. I took initiative to impose the image of a heart wrapping around the shape of the image, and this is the final product that we come to. My aesthetic representation of nursing depicts the very means by which I find nursing to be a beautiful art. I find meaning and admirability in the way that nursing is something different to everyone touched by the professional practice, and I believe my final product is a proper embodiment of this.